What's up, guys? Neo back for another Dokkan battle video. It's been a while. I am hopefully fully back to getting on my grind. But let's hop right into it. Today I wanted to talk about something I've really been noticing in my time playing recently in 2026, and that is that Dokkan feels like it has a free-to-play player problem right now. Of course, this game is held up by people who spend money. That's what a lot of it is. But I feel like it'd be disingenuous to say that the vast majority of people playing the game are not free to play. Of course, a lot of people are not spending money. So while free to play players are not where the game's getting its money, it is getting a lot of activity through this. And for the longest time, I was a free to play player. Now I would classify myself as like a little bit of a dolphin. I spend a little bit here and there. I definitely am not spending large amounts of money, and there are plenty of units that I just end up not getting because I wasn't lucky, or I just don't summon for them. But 2026 Dokkan's a little unique because, well, at least I think it's unique. I got the last 2 years, and we're going to kind of run through those, see if it suffers from the same issues. But 2026 Dokkan's kind of suffering from two big issues when it comes to sort of free to play, like fun, right? You always want to pull the new fun unit, right? Of course. But there are limits to that, right? If you're free to play, I think assuming you have your head on your shoulders, you're going to realize you're not going to pull every unit. Of course, no one. I don't think anyone expects you're pulling every single unit. So it's not even like you don't pull the unit and you pull every unit, but you don't pull one, and you're just, oh, this game sucks, right? Some people maybe are like that, but I think everyone's pretty realistic about that, right? And so if you follow the free to play formula, which has been the formula for 8 years, it's always been you save all your stones for the really big celebrations, right? Anniversary you always spend on TDC. GDC now, right? It was global anniversary before, or whatever. GDC now it is. And you spend on those like kind of big three, and then kind of like a little bit under that and still worth saving for is always Saiyan Day, Golden Week, and usually the New Year's are pretty good. So, and then everything in between you don't spend any stones on, right? Which kind of always been sort of the thing. But something about 2026, and I want to start getting into it, is it really is feeling like it's getting hard to be a free to play player out here. And starting with just the first one, which is the big celebrations have just not been hitting compared to the monthly, right? So starting with Dabura, and especially with Metal Cooler, we see monthly celebrations are just smoking major celebration characters, right? These monthly characters, who, when people are not playing the game and when most people should be saving and skipping, are turning out to just be like incredibly insane units. And it's kind of causing this scenario where the parts where we save for and then we finally get to are never worth it, right? Like Beast Gohan is good. Cell Max is good. Beerus and God Goku are both also really good. But, they're no Dabura. They're no Metal Cooler, right? Saiyan Day was pretty good, actually. Saiyan Day saving up for and getting would have been worth it. This unit is still really good, really worth your time. And then, of course, New Year's or anniversaries also really would have been worth your time. Daima, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, maybe you could say, not quite. Diamond Super Saiyan 4 Goku is good. I think he's definitely a really good unit. I think he has sort of a cap about what he can tank. And we are hitting a point where some units are just outright blowing through him. But UI and the Super Saiyan 4s are fantastic, and I think they're great. So you had like at least two celebrations where it was really worth it. Was this part 2 of the anniversary and Saiyan Day. But the other ones, it just hurts when what you're saving for is not like the cream of the crop, right? The best of the best. It's just a little demoralizing. It kind of creates a scenario where it's like, okay, should I be summoning on everything? But you can't, of course, because then you won't have stones for the other stuff that'll happen, right? And I do hope that for GDC that's changed, and I hope that when GDC comes, it'll be just like definitive top four, right? That would be hopefully the goal. The other thing too I want to point out is this year's also having a big dupe issue. Dupes are always something that's going to make your character better, and if you have a character rainbowed, no duh, it's going to just be a better unit, right? I don't care what unit is here; they're rainbowed, they're better. But something that in the past Dokkan I had felt was you could pull a lot of the best units with no dupes, and they'd still serve you pretty well, right? They could always do really good. I mean, UI Goku here and the fours, right? I have them both just 55%. I think they're great. I think they serve a really good purpose. These two could be a little less. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I feel you really do feel when you don't have dupes for him. He really will sell ass a lot for you. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I have him 55%, and he seems like he's still pretty good, but it just kind of like as a tank unit, it just brings that sort of top echelon tanking that he can do down a little bit. He's going to age a little bit faster for me than he will for someone else. But luckily for me, he will be. He was on the most recent banner. I did not pull him from the Beast Gone, but you get what I'm saying. Like people could pull him more of them in dupes from. But I'm noticing like Deborah, right? Say if you did end up pulling Deborah, right, who's insane, he struggles, right? At 55%, he's not like this crazy unit that he should be. These guys are really good. Really wanted to bring in the dupes where it was really hitting. Where is he? Sorry. Beast Gohan and Cell Max, I think, are 2 units who it's like we finally get a unit who, yes, we have this insane unit, or at least like not insane, but we've been saving up our stones. We finally got something worth our time. And he's a pretty dupe reliant character. Again, I think that in the past, like these top characters, you could get away without having dupes. Of course, they're always going to be better, but it's a little demoralizing when you're being a free-to-play player and you're never going to participate in everything. You're never going to pull everything, but it always at least felt the game was nice, lively when you saved for the big stuff and got the big stuff, right? So I didn't want to go over last year, and I just want to take in those two things, my brain, right? Was last year, if you didn't pull dupes and were the major celebrations just always hitting, or was there more like not celebrations, right? So like you mean last year's anniversary, I think it's great. I don't even need to get into it. I know there's some units who aren't great. I know there's like Vegeta's not that good, and then Frieza and Goku weren't that good. Whatever. I mean, that's all around just really good. You can maybe say Gohan was kind of dupe reliant, whatever. It's not a big deal. I think they're all great. And then we go to, Vegeta. He was part of the anniversary, so I'll just consider him as part of the anniversary. He's like, whatever. But then we had the Saiyan Day unit, Goku here. For the meta at the time, he was good, like a stacker. And at 55%, he was also good. I think he was fine. Like I think this was good. Saiyan Day, kind of like not as good as this year's, but still good for the meta. And he was a good unit. And then we had Golden Week. Golden Week was rough last year. Hit was good for the meta. Definitely a really good character. Even at 55% was okay. I don't know if I would be able to say this is a hit. It's hard to say that. Hit was really good. Hit was a hit. But Goku, I definitely, like that was just a flop. Like this is like another thing where it's like, come on, they need to really be like stepping up their game. Maybe you can even say it started here, right? Where they're kind of losing out on these. But the difference was in last year, they had a flop here, but it's not like they followed it up. I mean, they did follow up with Tao, and this is kind of another example of them dropping this insane character who's just like eclipsing these huge celebrations. And you're like, well, I don't have them. The only difference is Tao aged out pretty quickly compared to like Metal Cooler and Deborah, who are still like dominant. When the GDC meta hit, he kind of got aged out pretty quickly. I mean, he can still do pretty good. But you know what I'm saying. And then GDC, right? They hit super good. Perfect. 9, 10, 10. There's nothing to complain about. All units are great. 55%, I think they're all good. Like you didn't feel you need to get dupes. Dupes always help you out, but you didn't like, it wasn't a necessity. Then we follow that with the Gohan again felt great, no issues. It was like if you saved up for this, you loved it. And then you had the TDC last year, just moved up here, which was Golden Frieza and Gogeta. Again, a good unit. There's really no complaints. Like really good. I know there's little flaws here and there, but I don't want to get into the minutia of that. Just really good. Probably was it was definitely disappointing, especially if you're not someone who plays festival battles. It's like there's no fun to gain out of him really. And at 55%, he would really suck. He really is not Like that's a unit. It's like, oof, that's not good at all. Goku was good. This could be part of the monthly Dokkan Fest. He did really good, but he wasn't like smoking everything before him, you know. 16, just good. Goma, really good. That actually is a great example of like a unit who's doing really like dominant. So you could say like, oh, well, Goma's really good, and he was definitely competing at the top. But you know, I'd argue that every year they do kind of a yellow coin LR that's just sort of better than the rest, you know. And then going to the end, New Year's was good. You know, all the units were like everything, like all the big celebrations hit of this year. Everything except for Golden Week. I'm not gonna lie, Golden Week did not hit. And even you could say Saiyan Day didn't hit. It didn't hit the hype, but I think the character was fine. Goku was fine. Character kit wise, fine. Hype wise, you know, yeah, I agree with you. It was not good. But like all the big stuff hit. And then there was some really good in between. So like I think like Tao being absolutely incredible and you know being somewhat better than the Golden Week is fine when a lot of the other celebrations did do really good and brought out some heat, right? Then we'll go to 24, where of course we have anniversary and you know hit no duh hit beast go on all that. And I'm not even gonna move past that. Blew it. Vegeta Saiyan Day hit again. Great unit. And then Golden Week. Kid Fat Boo and Super Saiyan 3 Goku hit. Amazing unit. The in-betweens for these Topo, good. He's fine. No issue. Like there's no issues. Frieza here, bad unit, but whatever. It's the in-between. Doesn't matter. Right? It's these in-betweens. Topo, good. And I think he had a good team for what he was at the time. Fine. No issues, right? Keep going. Goku Black in between. Not a big issue. Was okay. Decent unit. Not too insane. Not eclipsing what you're saving for. Something you could skip. Cell Max was this year's kind of insane unit, right? It was really good at the time. Tanabata, right? UI Goku, great. Good unit. I mean, aged out, dodge kind of thing. Some people have complaints, but I think he was really good when he came out. Really good unit. Jiren, pretty good at the time too as well, even usable nowadays. And then the in-between, right? Roshi, I didn't really like him personally. I was never a fan of Roshi. I didn't like him. And then got to GDC, right, or the Worldwide Download Celebration still then, and it was these 4 units all really hit, right? Maybe some people had some issues with the Broly here, the Part 2 Broly, but every unit, all 4 of them hit. You pulled them, you were having a great time. And Vegeta monthly Dokkan Fest wasn't really that impactful, right? You're looking at 2024, right? I'm just kind of cutting here at the end, right? I'm assuming we got it. Some good units. But 2024 was almost like the ideal year for like a free-to-play person, right? You are getting hits on every single major celebration, and then you're getting just like, okay, I could skip that on the monthlies. Okay, I could skip that on the monthlies, 2025, it's kind of a mix, right? The big celebrations are hitting, except for Golden Week, right? Golden Week didn't really hit, right? TDC wasn't the greatest, right? Golden Frieza and Gogeta they're good. Broly wasn't, but everything else hit. And then we get this year where it's just like, oh, well, Anniversary Part 2 hit, Saiyan Day hit, but as a free-to-play player, nothing else is really hitting. Nothing else. It's really rough for me. And these monthlies are really hitting. So, I'll wrap up there. I don't want to, yap on forever. It's just something that I've just kind of been noticing. And I hope that GDC changes this, right? Well, that GDC comes and this is not an issue anymore, and I want to see if it stays like this. I don't doubt that GDC will do good. And, yeah, so I don't know. Let me you guys think. I could be a big dummy, and none of this is true. I just want to kind of like talk about this. It just feels like there's a little bit of a free-to-play problem. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Hopefully I'll be making more videos, and it's good to be back. Peace out.